Covering, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live, and a couple of things going on tonight. We just wanted to kind of give you a little heads up here. One, John Bolton, RT had covered his statement just a few hours ago there, and it really seems like Bolton's finger, if he could just have it on the trigger, he would be ready to pull that trigger and let those bombs loose on Iran. I think you'll get the gist of that here in just a few minutes as I play this clip here that RT uploaded. And also, Jared Kushner releases his economic plan for the a long-awaited deal of the century. Well, it's already been rejected by the Palestinian people. But you know, it's kind of interesting. I just have a theory. I'm going to share that theory with you guys, but I have a theory that the Palestinians, they may be more apt to receive this plan because, after all, I don't think the fullness of the plan will be truly released until after the war with Iran. And I say that because, you know, when a full-scale war breaks out with Iran, there's no telling where the bombs are all going to fall. And it may not even be missiles from Iran that end up falling in territories that otherwise, well, I think you get the drift where I'm going to with that there. And, you know, I'm all for peace. I just hate the idea of war. I don't want to see war for Israelis. I don't want to see it for Palestinians, and I don't want to see it for Iranians, either one, or Americans for that matter. What's going to happen? Is our guys going to just go over there, girls and guys going to go over there and die for what? What are we fighting Iran for? Because this alleged idea that Iran is trying to take out Israel? You know, Iran, to begin with, let's be realistic. Iran does have a lot of conventional weapons, no doubt about it. But Iran also knows that Israel has a massive stockpile of nuclear weapons. There you have it. Israeli News Live has said it. They have a lot of nuclear weapons. They don't want to admit it to the rest of the world, but they do. And Iran is not stupid. Iran, face it, this is why Iran doesn't retaliate from Syria after being bombed over 200 times. How many Iranians were killed in Syria alone with Israeli strikes against them? Now, think about it. If that was American soldiers getting hit that many times, do you think the American government would just sit back and take it? I don't think so. Now, you have to understand, too, for me, it's kind of, you get stuck in the middle there. You love your people, but then again, we got some pretty shady characters in power in Israel. And there's some pretty shady characters in power in Israel that are willing to bring about all kinds of human rights violations against Palestinians, not to mention their neighbors in the Middle East as well. But we're doing the same. So is the European Union, many of the countries there arming jihadists to overthrow the Syrians, kill all the Christians, and it almost seems like it's a war on Christians in every direction you go. Not to mention there's about 1 million plus inside of Iran. But I get the idea. I forgot altogether that Bolton and the president and, of course, Prime Minister Netanyahu, they all know better than God does. God told Abraham if there were just 10 righteous, he'd spare the city of Sodom. It was the most ungodly, a city that was so bad, he didn't send a military to destroy it. He sent the angels of heaven down to destroy it. But he said if there were 10, that's all you need, 10. Just 10. He was going to spare it for the 10. I hope I didn't do some kind of weird sign or something with my hand. Somebody have some kind of crazy, stupid thing to say about that later. But anyhow, you understand the point. 10 righteous. He would spare the city for the sake of the 10. I'm sure there's 10 believers in Iran that are true Christians that are really righteous souls, especially out of 1 million. And if you're going for the Jewish thought, well, there's over, 30,000 Jews living in Iran? I don't think they're too crazy about the idea of the United States attacking Iran because they don't want to leave Iran. They like it there. They get along with their government. But everyone that I do know that's from Iran, and yes, I do know people from Iran as well, they will tell you, doesn't mean that it's all peaches and cream in the country and everything is perfectly going without any political problems. Sure, there's problems, but it's not something that we should be dealing with ourselves just by destroying a nation. Let me show you what I meant, though, about John Bolton. Let's listen to this here.
Neither Iran nor any other hostile actor should mistake U.S. prudence and action for weakness. No one has granted them a hunting license in the Middle East. As President Trump said on Friday, our military...
I don't know if you guys can hear that. Let me see if I can change the sound where it comes from real quick, because I know it's not very loud even for me. And let's see here.
Either Iran...
No, it's still coming only through the sound on the speakers here. And it's not giving me any, let's see. No. All right. I'll read to you. It does have subtitles on here, so I'll read as well so I know that everyone is hearing this okay. Then that way, just maybe we can hear it better.
Neither Iran...
Okay, neither Iran nor any other hostile
should mistake U.S.
prudence and discretion for weakness.
No one
has granted them a hunting license in the Middle East.
As President
Trump said on Friday, our military is rebuilt, new, and ready to go, by far the best in the world.
Sanctions
are biting, and more added last night. Iran can never have nuclear weapons.
Not against the USA.
Not against the USA, against the world. And he made it clear yesterday, referring to his earlier remarks.
The president said, I just stopped the strike from going forward at this time.
Did you notice how he said that last part? I just stopped the strike from going forward. Then he slowly said the last part, at this time. That's the part I kind of got, give me the idea of the title here. Bolton seems to have his finger on the trigger. He just can't wait for the president to pull the trigger. And I'll tell you something, friends. I know some folks there that are right in the process, that have sat in the room with this man right here. And they'll let you know straight up, Bolton is all for war. He is a warmonger. And this is what we're contending with President Trump. All right, let me switch over to the other issue here. The White House, Jared Kushner here, the New York Times, reporting that his plan was released. It has been rejected by the Palestinian people almost immediately. The White House unveils economic portion of the Middle East peace plan. And the Trump administration said on Saturday that it hoped to raise more than $50 billion to improve the lot of the Palestinians and their Arab neighbors, releasing an economic plan titled Peace to Prosperity that reserves the actual sequence of its peacemaking efforts in the Middle East there. You know, now I ran across this man right here, Sam Bahor. I ran across an article with him on Twitter there, and I don't know how well you guys can see this on the screen. I was looking to see if I could, let me just see if I can blow this up, make it bigger, but it doesn't look like it's going to give me that ability. Not on this article. That's kind of strange. You normally can blow up anything and make it bigger. But anyway, he wrote an article, an open letter to my fellow American civil servant, Jared Kushner. Sam Bahor, he is a Palestinian, and when he wrote the letter, he was sitting inside, I assume, the West Bank. It says, from one American to another, so I assume he's an American as well. Get out of the car, go home. That's what he starts it off with. But as you read this, it's really kind of interesting once he goes a little bit further in there. I'll just open up with the first paragraph. The White House today finally released a much-anticipated economic plan of what Trump administration has infamously coined the deal of the century. This release is being made days before the planned economic workshop called the Bahrain on June 25th and 26th. The economic plan is 3 parts, a website which has executive summary, a 40-page narrative of the plan, and a 96-page detailed listing of programs and projects and peace to prosperity. I just read them all. I honestly don't know whether to laugh or cry. So instead of doing either, I thought it would be best to share my thoughts by way of the following open letter to Jared Kushner, the architect of the plan and President Trump's son-in-law. Now, as I actually read the entire article the guy wrote, and it's kind of comical a little bit, but it really gives you gives us a little bit of insight of how Palestinians would view the plan that's already been released, especially in light of someone actually reading the entire thing. So I'll read you a little bit of this here, and then you can read the rest. I'll put the link in for you below. He said, I really like the part of the plan's vision which notes that it can only be achieved following a peace. Wait a minute, let me back up. I read this on my veranda, the one facing the illegal Israeli settlement on the Pescot across the valley. Every time I looked up to take a sip of water, I looked at the settlement lights glaring down on me and then looked down to your plan to see where it fits. I see it fits perfectly since you don't even hint that it exists. I know that we Palestinians should not get bogged down with inconvenient facts on the ground. I really like the part of the plan's vision which notes that it can only be achieved following a peace agreement, and that only through peace can the Palestinians achieve prosperity. Boy, myself, that sounds almost like the Germans when they were saying it to the Jewish people, you know, with good works you'll achieve freedom, right? You're spot on here, Jared, but isn't that what the Palestinian leadership and people have been saying to you from the outset? Show us the political parameters and then we can talk economy. Isn't that how business plans are built? You ask about the applicable laws and regulations and you build your plan. I understand your business experience may be different than what my Youngstown State University degree and Northwest University and Tel Aviv University MBA taught me. I loved how you started the narrative part of the plan. Generations of Palestinians have lived without knowing peace, and West Bank and Gaza have fallen into protracted crisis. Really? I wonder why. Falling into such a crisis is such a bummer. We must be more careful next time. Now, seriously, Jared, I read English well, so I thought, but parts of your plan just left me hanging. Can you explain? You say the plan has the potential to facilitate more than $50 billion in new investments over 10 years. Potential to facilitate. Is that like me having the potential to facilitate reaching the moon on my bicycle? After all, science is moving so fast, the potential is there, and I need to do is aim to facilitate, so I don't really need to leave Earth at all. You state that the plan can fundamentally transform the West Bank and Gaza into an open new chapter in Palestinian history, one defined not by adversity and loss, but by freedom and dignity. Adversity and loss, another bummer. I wonder how we got that to start with. I was so happy you did not go there in the report. It would have been so old talk. To explain why, let's just pretend an earthquake hit us and stay focused on the future. The plan keeps mentioning the applicable Palestinian authorities. Now, this is one that got me when he brought this up. Applicable Palestinian authorities. Now, it says here, now who could that be? Can't be the PLO because Trump closed their office in Washington, D.C. months ago. It can't be either the state of Palestine because although over 130 countries recognize Palestine, the U.S. does not. Please, Jared, I need to know. You can't fill your report with such words and not know who you refer to. It goes on and on and on, and some points you might agree with, some you might not, some I agree with, some I don't. But, you know, the point is it comes down to this. The Palestinian people really go through a tremendous opposition. You know, I went through a suicide bombing in 2004 in Jerusalem when I lived there at that time. And I do understand what it's like to go on the opposite end of what Israel would call terrorism. But sometimes you have to ask yourself, and it's what I asked myself back then, What were the Palestinians going through that would cause them to go to such drastic means to strap a bomb on themselves and blow themselves up to try to kill Israelis? There's another Israeli woman that I know of that her son, I believe it was her son, was killed by a suicide. No, it was her daughter was killed by a suicide bomber. And they came to her and asked her, they said, "Are you angry at the Palestinians?" She says, "No, I'm angry at my government." And they said, "Why are you angry at the government?" She said, "If the Palestinians did not live in the conditions they live in, then we wouldn't be having the problems we have today." And I know that's hard for a lot of people to believe because all we ever see is the mainstream propaganda of what's really going on. But you can go to Twitter and see some of the injustice that happens there. I was just looking at one earlier today, what was happening to Christian Palestinians. But really in this case here, humanity, it shouldn't really matter whether you're Christian or you're not Christian. Humanity should just be humanity. If we can show love to our neighbors, you may be able to win them to Christ. That's the whole purpose. The same thing with Israelis. If we can show love to our Israeli brothers and sisters, perhaps we could win them to Jesus Christ to see that He is the true light of the world. Because without Him, there's no hope. And this is one reason why I keep looking at these things more and more. I keep looking to see the things that are happening in the Middle East. I know that there's a lot of talk right now that Israel is to be the light of the world. No? Let me read something to you guys just as a reminder, because I hear that a lot, that Israel is to be the light of the world. Then that's in sharp contrast to what John taught in the Gospel of John there. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God, and the same was in the beginning with God, and all things were made by Him. Without Him was not anything made that was made. In Him was life, which is from the tree of life. And the life was what? The light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Now, John's taking you right back to the Garden of Eden in Genesis. He was the light that shined in darkness. Remember, in the beginning was light, and the darkness, as we see here, the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. The same came for a witness. Now keep in mind, John was a Jew of 2,000 years ago. Because people say the Jews are the light of the world today. Well, John was a Jew, right? He said he came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. Through who? Jesus Christ. He was not that light. Whoa, what do you know? John's a Jew, but he's not that light, right? But was sent to bear witness of that light. And who did John bear witness of? Jesus Christ of Nazareth. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by Him, and the world knew Him not. And even to this day, they still don't know Him. He came into His own, and His own received Him not. But as many as received Him, to them gave He the power to become the sons of God. Wow. I mean, isn't that amazing right there? But as many as received Him, to them gave He power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on His name. There's so many people, especially nowadays, you get a lot of this in some of these this Talmudic circles, I should call it maybe. They really push to try to get you back under Judaism, saying that the rabbis today, they're the ones that they have all the answers. You got to be under the rabbinical teachers today because the light is coming out of Israel, and they are the true sons of God. Notice that. They're the true sons of God. Well, it says right here, but according to the Gospel of John, but as many as received Him, which was Jesus Christ, to them, those that receive Him, that's Jew or Gentile, by the way, gave He power to become the sons of God. What? That's pretty tough, isn't it? there must have been something cut off there, that they weren't true sons of God if it took Christ to bridge that gap. Even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, wow, there you go, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. See, being a son of God is not by flesh and blood, saying that you're Abraham's seed and that's what makes you a son of God. It is not of blood, nor the will of flesh, nor the will of man, but of God. You got to be born by the will of God, and that can only be through Jesus Christ. This is why, friends, we are pushing so hard. John bare witness of him and cried, saying, This is he of whom I spoke. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. And in his fullness of all we received, in grace for grace. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth by Jesus Christ. I tell you what, that's the best way to end a broadcast. This is why I'm getting more and more, friends, more and more to where I care. Whether it be Palestinian, whether it be Syrian, whether it be Israeli, whether it be Iranian or American or Russian or European or Indian or Hindu, Sikh, Jain, whatever you might be, Arab, Muslim, Jewish, I don't care what you are. If I can get you to see that life of Jesus Christ, what was inside of him, that when he died on the cross, that's what give you the ability. When you believe upon him, that's what causes that life that's in him to come and quicken the seed that's within you. That's the truth of the gospel right there, friends. We're going to get back to some simplicity here, guys. We've been, a lot of things were going on, and we meant to, even Yana was saying we're still going to try to do this broadcast tonight, me and her together, but I think it might be best that we wait till tomorrow. She's been in a lot of conferences today, speaking with people by phone and stuff. A lot of things are going on. A lot of information is out there, and we're really wanting to help people the best we can. And we're living in a very deceiving day. And a lot of us, listen, we're no different. We've made a lot of mistakes as we've come along too, guys. And, God forgive us for that. But we've made mistakes as well. So that's why I don't like to hold hard against other people either. Same thing with, whether it be with Mark or Rabbi Shapiro, where we've been talking about these guys here more recently. That's why we're trying to reach this with love, because we too have made mistakes, and maybe make more. I can't say we're not going to make more mistakes, but we like, the thing is correct the mistakes as you go. If you veer off the path somewhere, God forgive us. Let's get back on path and share with people where we go wrong at, and move forward. But I will tell you, don't ever forget. I've said it to you in the past. I'll say it to you again. A lot of false accusations will come out there, and I've already been hearing them out there. So what's really funny, I've already been hearing them. A lot of them are just petty and they don't really matter. But hey, it is what it is. We know how Satan is. So, and I think the funniest one though recently was when Shapiro says I had converted to Reform Judaism. I like to fell out of my seat. I've never converted to Judaism. Period. You're a Jew because, I always thought you're Jewish because you're born Jewish. I was born to Jewish parents. And granted, my parents didn't live by Judaism to begin with. That's why I became a believer in Jesus Christ when I was such a little bitty guy. As I state, you can see it. Actually, it's on my website, israelreturns.com. And by the way, there may be a lot of articles on our website and stuff that I would actually take down now. I don't even remember. It's been so long. I haven't been there in a long time, but I just was looking the other day because people were asking about that. And but I think that's where I tell a little bit about my life story. It's also, I think, in the book Israel, Are They Still God's People? I thought it was in Yom Suf. I have a copy of Yom Suf here, but it wasn't in Yom Suf. So it must be in Israel, Are They Still God's People, where I tell a lot about these things here. about my parents and who they were, things like that, you know. Because some people, they wonder about it and they don't know, and you have no way to be able to tell people because, you know, you say things and you forget, and time goes on and it all passes, and you forget there's another 20, 30, 40,000 people that are coming on board and they don't know necessarily what you believed in the past. So that's why I say a lot of people that have been with us for a long time know we've made a lot of changes as we've come along. But there again, that's because as God reveals in our heart where we go wrong, we try to correct it and we try to move forward. So let's be patient as well with these other people too. You know, even, you know, God will separate the weed from the wheat. That's not our business there. He says the angels come forth and do that. So that's really not our business. Our business is to just preach the gospel. As Paul said, stay instant in season and out of season, and really do everything we can to get the love of Jesus Christ to the people, because we're in a very serious hour. And I want to thank you too, those of you that have been writing. We can't always get to every email, but we are seeing the messages. We just got messages again. Chabad organizations popping up all over Mexico. We've had several people write they want to help translate messages that we're doing, especially these ones. In fact, the one that we moved to private just yesterday, that is going to be on Patreon tonight. So if you haven't seen it yet, the one that I did with my wife, I'll show you right now. It's over here loading. It says it's uploaded. Let's just see how far it's done with its conversion. Probably not far yet, only 19%. More uncovering the evil plan, which that's not, I think, how we titled it the other day, but it'll be uploaded in about an hour. I'll have that uploaded there for you on Patreon. And listen, we're trying to put them up here for, you know, for 24 to 48 hours for you guys that listen to here on live on our YouTube channel. But bear with us. The reason why we don't keep it up there too long, because we're under a major attack. In fact, Adam Green with No More News, he had all of his videos removed on YouTube that he had done about the Noahide laws and the Chabad organization's involvement with these Noahide laws and Talmudic things that he was sharing and exposing that he's done. They removed every one of his videos on that. That's what we're talking about, friends. There is a major world push to silence people like us. We got a little surprise, though, coming up in the near future. And it's going to shock that world as well. Anyway, God bless you. Thank you for watching. And please do support the work we're doing. You can support the work we're doing here over at, go to our website, israelinewslive.org. Our mailing address is on there as well, israelinewslive.org. And so if you want to support us by mail, you can do so. You can just send that way, or you can donate online. We thank you for watching. And also BitChute. I think we got the BitChute problem fixed finally. Let me just see if I can take you to that real quick. We are at BitChute. It's Israeli News Live. Let me just see. Maybe I can just type it in here because I haven't actually logged into this computer and I don't know what our channel actually is, other than we are Israeli News Live. And I think if you just type it in like that, we're still not popping up like that yet. But we are Israeli News Live on BitChute. And there, if you go to our Facebook page on Israeli News Live, there is a link that'll take you straight to it. I'll try to remember to put that link inside this video. Might take me about 30 minutes or so because I got to wait for it to fully upload. But I'll put a link in there as well. And you can also donate directly from BitChute as well. That's something else that they allowed us to set up there. And we only do that mainly because different people say they have problems being able to help support the work we're doing. And so we try to give a few different options there to make it a little bit easier. Anyway, blessings to you all. Thank you, and thank you for watching. Erev Tov.